Good morning and happy Broadcast Tuesday,
Good morning.
where we invite someone in our industry to come and share real estate tips and technology and join us live every Tuesday here on Facebook. This morning, I'd like to introduce a longtime associate, and I'm proud to call her my friend, Roxanne Kellerman of Tycor Title.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Roxy's widely recognized as a leader and business pioneer in Southern California. Very good.
Yeah.
And she has a list of accolades that are longer than my arm. So she's created several courses for her realtor clients that cover the gamut, actually.
Yeah.
Welcome, Rox.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
You bet. I'm glad to be here. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Great.
Yeah. So we got some good questions today.
Why don't we start out with, Rox, why do Realtors Farm?
So let's think about it for a minute. When we first come into the business and into the industry, the one thing that people are training and teaching us all along the way is that you have to have an audience to speak to. And without that audience, we're almost dead in the water. I mean, we really are. We might have a lot of skill, a lot of passion, a lot of drive, and a lot of heart to be able to give as much as we possibly can to our community. But if we don't have a way to communicate to them and a place and a platform to share, it becomes a very daunting and painful experience in real estate. So farming is one way to get a large group of people who don't know, care, or trust you to come into a space where they can clearly see what the heart of your matter is and what type of contribution you would be making for them as they decide to buy or sell real estate in their particular community. And that is done by design. It's not at all done by what the market has to say, or it's not done by just the referral-based business, which is, by the way, the largest track record for you to have is the people who know, care, and do trust you to be doing business with you. So we'll talk a little bit about that today as we go through some of these questions. But the reason, and the most important reason to farm, is because you have to have an audience to speak to.
Yeah, audiences are good.
I know, thanks.
So what does it mean when we use the phrase hyperlocal farm?
This is like one of the key pivotal reasons why I love social platforms. To be able to take a medium of folks and contribute to them in a way that they can see. And I'm going to use several examples so that you can see your behavior as well as a consumer. And really, this is really all about how people get attracted to other people and how that muscle is now being built in consumption. How is it that people are receiving information? So having, let's put it this way, having a group of people who don't know you then get to know you, because we have a way of doing that, is something brand spanking new. I've been in the title business for 20 years. I'm 60 years old. One of the things that I knew I had needed to do when I became a salesperson was to be able to go and knock on doors and make that appearance so that people can get to know a little bit about my energy and my chemistry and my personal passion. Now, the way that we have things done today, we get to experience that out loud to the vast majority of people without ever feeling like we're missing a beat on anyone.
That's true.
So being able to take a real estate transaction and be a great storyteller is one of the reasons why we're able to farm in the way that we farm. And just let me give you a couple of examples. When you storytell versus sell, you inspire and attract someone to actually do business with you. People will do business with you once because they like you, but they will do business with you and become an inspiring workforce for you if they trust you.
Absolutely.
We can build trust based on some of the ways that we farm and the contributions that we give out and the way that we message them in a way that's not been done before. Another good example would be just listeds and just solds. Those are very generous ways to actually contribute information. But that has actually been done like our own industry lingo. For instance, for sale by owner. Just listed. For sale by owner. We're going to do a class on that one. That was so fun. It's so much fun. But a just listed would be just listed, 4BD, 1FLPC, 28SQFT. These are all of our acronyms that all across the board when we're farming, people cannot see the difference in your heart and in your soul. You can't storytell that way.
That's true.
We all sound the same exact way. All we have is a different item for our name and a different item for the property address. The rest is pretty much the same.
Then do you think that it desensitizes the clients and the people looking and driving by?
100%.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
it absolutely makes us look like an industry instead of a workforce for you. So I think that that's kind of important to know and to distinguish as you go along when you're thinking about farming.
Absolutely, and how you talk to your clients, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't talk in all those acronyms, and it matters.
Absolutely, and hyperlocal is small. The gentleman from Virgin,
That guy, Branson.
Branson.
Yes.
In his book, thank you.
You're welcome.
In his book, he states that when in his company, he puts pods of 150 people at a time. And that way, people can stay highly connected and in a way that they can see kind of like what their values are and get to know them in a way that they can get the company to move into a direction that we want people to move into. When you're farming, I want you to try, at least in this conversation today, try to suspend all thoughts that you ever had regarding what farm looks like. Instead, come back into the room as if you were the CEO of a company. And in your CEO of the company, you're actually a business owner. You're going to look at your staff, that's your farm. Your employees, that's your farm. You're going to contribute to them and communicate to them in ways that will inspire them and give them direction to actually do business with you. And have them raise their hand and go, I know I don't know her, but I feel like I do know her. I mean, right? Don't we think we know the Kardashians super well? Yeah, but we really don't know them at all. But we think we do because it's all perception.
Absolutely.
And when the consumer's already in a pattern, and this is super important to understand what is actually happening. There is a pattern going on right now where reality TV shows and getting that need to know the end of the story super quick is already being part of our cultural dynamics. So all I'm saying is that we don't have to be that, but we can be like that in a very positive way. And that's what super farming and hyperlocal farming will look like for you. Oh, it's like, when I think about it and the folks that are out there listening to us across the nation, I know that no matter what state you're in, this is people talk. It doesn't matter if we're on the West Coast or where I was born and raised, which is on the East Coast. And it does not matter. We all want to do business with people who we care about. This is a way to lift up people who've never known you before and start really directing sales because they have now a need and they are inspired to do that. So.
All right.
Yeah.
So what do we need to do?
Well, there's a variety of different ways to start. Look, we all have a unique DNA that we possess. Some people have, dark hair, light hair. That's the way the consumers are. So let's be very clear about how we develop and we create a model. And that's the word. If I said the word business plan, I think everyone in the entire country would just melt, going, "Really? I'm an entrepreneur?
Another business plan?"
And I get up in the morning, and depends on what's going on. I know exactly what I need to do. A model is different. I run my business as a model. Mm-hmm. I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing every single week by projects. The projects drive my income. So for us, we would be doing hyperlocal farming by projects. And they would be, a good example would be having a 4-week campaign, not a once a month, especially these people don't know you. Look, when you're dating, I've been married 32 years. And when I first met Tom, I remember a long time ago, I said, that's a kind of good looking sort of guy right there. But we dated for 1.5 years before we decided that we would marry.
The courtship is
important. That is the way that this experience needs to happen. We are still dealing with people. You can absolutely bring these folks in a way that showcases you by storytelling. So the way that we begin is we start storytelling in a beautiful. Here in San Diego, we do a lot of training, as you know, in our corporate office. We have a learning center, and it's been such a joy to be able to look someone in the eye and see the transformation that they have when they get it. And they go, okay, the mailing works sometimes, but the taking and dropping off anything inside of a box is 100% open ship. Meaning that you can put the same material, the same information, but drop it in a box and drop it on their front door, beautifully placed together. And maybe we can share some pictures later on after this broadcast. Absolutely. And show you a little bit about the way that people are doing it. It gets the folks that are in that farm to notice you very, very quickly. So week 1, it'll look like this. Hey, little Billy, there's something over there at the front door. Little Billy runs out, gets it, picks up the box, says, Mama, look, there's something in there. Of course, it has your name on it on the outside, so we don't have anything freaky going on. It has your name on the outside, and he opens it up, and Mom says, clever, in her mind. Week 2, comes back, Mom says, Billy, there's another box over there at the thing, on the door. I'll go get it, Mama. Opens it up, has material in there from the real estate agent, good storytelling, and
what would you suggest are in those boxes?
Those are 4 campaigns. And each campaign is a different message, but each one of them invites them to their own community Facebook page. So let's talk. Yeah, it invites them to their own community Facebook page. And the reason why it works is because the audience is already there. Your audience, it's on Facebook. Yeah. And when it's already on Facebook, what you want to do is give them an easy access to be able to be really kind of like curious about what's going on in their community. So each one of those messages will have a different way, and I can help you with that if that's something that needs to happen in the future. But each one of those messages will have a way where they can go and do one very easy thing where they already have that muscle and that exercise already done, and that's like the page. They don't have to go into a page and fill out all of their information. They don't have to lie about it. They don't have to fib and make up some different phone numbers just in case you might call them. This is really a way that it's in it for them. It's what's in it for them as a consumer. They want to know what's happening in my community. Hyperlocal means that you know everything, how far it takes for you to walk to your nearest coffee shop. If the school is having a play, what play is going to be done through the school? If the local school, if the high school is going to have their football game, you want to let them know what the traffic report is going to be like. You want to own that farm by being the town crier, the ambassador, if you will, of that community. Absolutely. And the thing is that we have been in one very interesting way when I started this journey 10 years ago on farming this way. One very uncomfortable way that we would farm would be that we would have a listing or a sale, and we would go and share the good news with the just listed and just sold, and then take off and move on to the next area. Oh, I just had another sale on the other side of town. So I only communicated with them for only about one mailing, and then that was done. And then I went to another one because I had another sale behind me, and that's where I went and I farmed. The consumer knows that.
And not just that, how many of those just listed or just sold postcards actually are read and not thrown away?
Well, the majority of them are thrown away.
Absolutely.
That's why the box has 100% open ship. By the time Billy goes to his 4th box, the 3rd one, she'll say, look, that real estate agent, that's priceless to me. Look, that real estate agent just dropped something else. And the last one that she'll say, she goes, look, my realtor, Tracy, sent me another box. Now she's got confidence, and she feels she knows you. Yeah. So she's going to go and like that page because she's going to want to know all the news of what's going on in that community. If there is some building going on and you've been able to go to the city website and be able to pull that and say, hey, here's the permits that I just noticed that are going up. If you're wondering what's going on in that strip mall down the road on Main Street, this is what's happening. Absolutely.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I'm going to try it as soon as I get home.
Oh, there you go. So one thing that I wanted to say also is that when you look at your farm as a workforce, you will think of them differently. Having them, you will have a connection with them. Not only is that 4-week contribution super important, it's also very important that we don't forget about pictures. 97% of a consumer will watch something before they actually read it. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
That changed the trajectory of my blood. It really was, because I ended up noticing that if I can move past the way I look on film, the way my Jersey accent comes out, how my hair looks, and all these things, I would be in a place of service instead of sales. it took a lot for me to come into and I think for many of us who are in sales, really what people think about us matters a lot. So absolutely. I think when you step into a place of service, it requires us to be different. And all of these areas that we tend to communicate to these folks are really huge contributions that give them peace of mind. The last thing you want to have happen is your own mother-in-law, your brother, your sister, your best friends list and sell with someone else because they did not see you in that specific way. Mm-hmm. The fastest money that comes back when it comes to farming is in the farm of your inner circle. And we don't usually use them.
It's true.
And don't contribute to them.
And that hurts as an agent. When somebody lists with somebody else, you just think, oh, and then when you talk to them and they say, I didn't know, I totally forgot you've been a realtor for 17 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we have to take responsibility for that. A lot of it has to do with the way that we communicate. Like I said, words matter.
Yeah.
So being in front of a camera is very, is very serious work because it allows people for the very first time to see the energy that you have when you're talking about the position that you're in and how you're going to help them in their community. And when you farm and you can tell them that you have a model for them that not just worldwide will they be able to see their property, but the community in general will have other friends and family who would want to live in their community, and they're going to share the good news with them about that as well.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
So how do we make video farming like the real deal then?
I have, this is a pretty savvy technology company, I have to admit. I mean, to be able to be here sitting in your corporate office in beautiful Carlsbad, California, and be able to sit here and talk to thousands of people across the nation is pretty savvy. Use the technology as Alice and James is training you to do, I am certain, which is to take pictures and make that the model that you work on. If you're driving down, for us, if we're driving down the Pacific Ocean, and you know how beautiful it looks out here, you can snap a picture. Be in the marketing mindset all of the time, in the service mindset. If you're snapping a picture and you can see that blue water, you can say just one thing on video and say, millions of people across the world come to this place just to dip their toes in our water.
Which is true.
Powerful and enough said. Because what that evokes is emotion. And people purchase through emotion. Yeah. Unless you're an investor.
Oh yeah, that's right? A whole nother story
for
a whole other day.
I know, yeah. So if they purchase by emotion, let's give them what they need, because the numbers is your job. That's what everybody's job is, to have all of the details about purchasing and selling their properties. That's what the professionals at Alice and James do. But I got to tell you, when it comes to farming, bringing out the soul, it's like taking data and adding soul to it.
I love that.
Isn't that awesome?
I love that. That is powerful.
I totally live that way.
That is coin that phrase.
Yeah.
Coin it.
Exactly. I know, right? Yeah.
Well, I have one last question for you, Rox.
Okay.
How do people get in touch with you?
Well, there are a variety of different ways. You can Facebook me. Hello. Yeah. So my name on Facebook is Roxanne Larrinaga, Larrinaga, Kellerman, Kelemen. That is my name on Facebook. You can friend me there, and then you can watch, cheat, take, do whatever you see that. I mean, honestly, I think I have a little bit of street cred when it comes to social media platforms. I made $177,000 last year, and I say that in a humble way, just on one platform, and that's Facebook. Incredible. Because the pictures says more than my words. To be able to put those two together, video is really where it's at. So.
Yeah, and you add value in your page too. Yeah, so that's also important to remember.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great forum.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. So I want to thank Roxanne for spending time with us this morning.
My honor.
Great. Hopefully we'll have her back.
I'd love to.
Okay, great. Yeah. So we will have it posted on our Facebook, how you can get in touch with Roxanne. If you have any questions, or if you just want to know anything more, we will make sure that you have her information. But like I said, it will be posted on this video link also. And join us next week. Next Tuesday we have we're going to be talking about breakthrough broker.
Excellent.
Say that 3 times fast.
Exactly.
Easy for you to say, right?
Right.
So thank you again from Allison James Corporate Office here in California. I'm Tracy Hansen signing off.
Thank you.